This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, as you know, this is just something that really gets on my mind, and I wonder if people run into this same thing that I always do. Like when I get a lot of these Kickstarters, or I go out and I buy a game, and you get the base game, but then there's like other things that you have to buy for it. And, some people could say it's fear of missing out, but you kind of figure that, okay, if I'm going to play this game and I really like it, and say you buy the game and you really like it, which has happened with me, and then you go, wow, this is really good. And I'm going through all the story, and, well, they have other parts that go to it. I need to add to this. For instance, Folklore, the Affliction, I went and got this boss because I thought this boss would be really cool. Or Zombicide, you get the Survivors of the Galaxy, you want to add that because you really like, Zombicide in space, which was a lot of fun. So you end up with all these little boxes. And as I'm cleaning out this storage unit, it's not that hard to get all the big games over here. The thing that's killing me is I've got a quarter of a storage unit filled with these little types of boxes. Encounter decks for Hex Explorer. What was some of the other stuff that I brought over? Okay, Voyage of the Beagle. Okay, this is a small box that I had to bring over. And it kind of gets scattered if you don't keep it all together. And a lot of these Kickstarters, when they fund, they reach all these stretch goals. Instead of just putting it all in one decent sized box so you can have two boxes there, there's like 30 boxes. There's dice, there's sleeves. If you don't get a chance to sleeve it, you got that taking up room. You've got these little expansion packs with one figure in it. Why can't we just put it all into one thing? And it's the thing that's driving me nuts while I'm trying to get this all done, is that I'm just running into all these little itty bitty expansions that go to like 17 different games. And then the worst part is, if I get rid of a game and I don't find that certain little expansion, well, now I have that little expansion. What do I do with it? Okay, I called a game and I called a couple of games, and then all of a sudden I have these expansions, and I go, oh my God, I sold the game, but what do I do with these expansions? Yeah, I could probably try to find the person if I knew who it was that I sold it to, and I don't got the time to do that kind of research, and send them some of the extra stuff for free. Sure, hey, do you want this? But all these little boxes take up so much room, and when you have racks like this, or some people have a way of doing it, it takes up a lot of little space. And a lot of the stuff doesn't fit into the box. Okay? That would be the first thing that you would think of. Okay, well, why don't I just put it all into the box and stuff as much as I can? And some of that stuff you can do, some of you can't. And it becomes overwhelming, especially in a time like this for me, where I'm trying to not only, get one of these storage units closed up, but I'm trying to figure out what goes with what. My Blood Bowl stuff I've been very fortunate with. I've kept it all together, and the boxes were big enough where I could put figures in, or I have certain cases that, from all my different teams. One of the nice things about the Blood Bowl is your team stays together. So you break up all those teams. It's sometimes the star players, okay, where did I put all the star players? Well, I have to do the same thing. I have to go down to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and get, one of those little jewel case things, and, something like this, and try to condense all that stuff and make it where it fits into those areas. And just have something that I specifically do for that. And as you get more and more expansions for things, or these Kickstarters, when you open up some of these cases, yeah, it's easy to keep it in the case, but where are you going to put the case? It's nice to get a hold of them. Hey, like Deep Madness. I bought everything for it. And I said, oh yeah, this is fun. I'm going to have everything for it. I got everything, and now I've got it scattered all through here. I could look around here, and there's a couple games that I just have completely scattered all over the Masters of the Universe. I love it. I will never get rid of it. But I've got like 17 boxes scattered all through this place. Massive Darkness. And this isn't pointed towards any particular company. This isn't about the company. This is about in general. You wish that, they would say, okay, Kickstarter extras. Okay? And if it funds here, you get all this. Or if some people only want one thing or stuff like that. I understand that. But, the condensed space, if it just came in a big box and you could put it up and you could write, or, even if it's cheap cardboard, who cares? All the stuff for whatchamacallit, it's just these little itty bitty boxes, special dice, and the thing is to try to stay away from that. But when you get these things, and sometimes I buy them I buy a lot of the Kickstarter stuff secondhand. People trying to get rid of their stuff because I won't, do the whole Kickstarter thing. But when I get these things and I get them in there, and there's like little dice. Oh, there's promo cards. Okay, well, I can fit those in. Okay, but then you have like 6 or 7 boxes for, 1 or 2 figures. And that becomes madness because, when you open up the actual game box itself, everything is squeezed in there just right. Sometimes it's a chore just to put everything back once you take it out the first time, let alone add anything to it. And I wonder if anybody else runs into this problem and they just have a pile of shame of little boxes of extras that, number one, they haven't even opened. Number two, they don't know what to do with. And are just overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm trying to get all this done. And it's almost impossible. I'm in that storage unit and I'm looking and I'm going, oh my God, I just can't believe what I have here. And some things I find that the game's been long gone. And I'm like, okay, well, this is useless. I'm almost better off throwing it away. In some ways, just to save myself the hassle of trying to, sell onesie twosies. But it is absolutely overwhelming. It is. And, the one thing that I really liked and that I figured out was Pathfinder. I started finding all the little individual decks for like Skulls and Shackles, Wrath of the Righteous. And built into it, it has a predetermined slot that you can put all that stuff into. That helped a lot. I went, oh, that's right. I remember those have the slots. I could put the story cards in there. That's cool. If there was more of that, that'd be cool. But sometimes you just get overwhelmed with this stuff. And I wonder, does that become a fear of missing out thing? Well, not really. If you really enjoy a game and you buy everything for it, but, how do you store it? How do you store it? Right now, I love Heroes of Normandy. But there are so many little things to it. They have these nice terrain boxes now that I can kind of get all that stuff put away and nice and tight, so I can play this fantastic game. So again, just it's really overwhelming in some ways, and I wonder if you guys run into the same problems that I do. So as I continue on here, this was just something that really became frustrating, and I decided to make a video about it as I'm running through and finding all these things. Car Wars, the 6th edition. There are 15 boxes of different cars. I wished it all just fit into one box. I mean, it's just, now I've got all these different cars that I painted up and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what do I do from here? What do I do? A good problem to have and a bad problem to have. But until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you guys do to deal with some of these storage issues.